Okay guys, so let's start off with gold. So as I mentioned, I was looking for this 98 level, which is the sort of daily 20 level, to sort of come back below, which it is below, and not sure how I'm going to like this for any longer at this point. We've got the 4 hour lines up, we've got the 1 hour as well, all on this area. So this is why I was liking this for long, just to continue from these levels. But I totally agree, if you're looking at the daily, it does look in a downtrend, but that looks more like a pullback in a larger uptrend. Now let's look at something else which Kevin and I looked at in yesterday's session, and why we went long during the webinar yesterday, because this is where we saw what I said to him exactly, was that it almost looks like the daily 50 we tested here, but I bet tomorrow we get an actual retest and then a break to the upside, which is exactly what we've got, which does signal a bit of upside, and this looking to me like a bull flag. Now let me show you where the fib levels are as well, because it's bang on, it comes straight bang on down to the 50 fib, which obviously gold likes. So let's make it a bit clearer. So here we are, 50 level, the daily 50, a rejection. Now the only thing is holding below this daily 20 is not a nice situation to be in, and one which I'm just, much as I would like to take this long, would like to see what happens over the next hour. As I say, the main focus is on the pounds, but let's break this down, because again, even on the 4 hours, we've had a move back above the EMAs, a breakdown, a sort of false move back up above, and could it just be retesting before the next move to the upside? Now there's a bit of uncertainty in the market. The reason it went a bit mad earlier, along with the sort of pound yen sinking, is obviously this news of the UK not going to get a deal, etc., etc. But sometimes it's showing the left before it gives the right, and could it just be a bit of fake news that is trying to cause a stir before actually doing a move? And because the indices have dropped, that's why normally you get a strong yen and a strong gold, but as much as it has been, it's sort of ticking back down. So yeah, I'm just in several minds, but what I do like is the fact that we are at all of the, on the 1 hour, the 4 hour, let's have a look in, I mean even the 30 minutes we're at the 200, the 5 minutes the only one that's broken below, it's not really held below. Maybe this candle will, or maybe that's going to be the run to 96, but get it active now. But let's see. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious what happens with this hour. Whether we're gonna break down below or hold above. If we get a nice kind of reversal candle, then I think it might be in at a higher price, but it'll be looking better for longs. And pound yen, I just wanted to see that retest. But that's where I am on gold. That's what I can sort of envision. This is what the technicals are telling us. But like I say, it does look to me like a bit of a pullback before continuation. But let's see how this hour closes. If it closes below, then we could be in for a run back down to the lows, which again we can capitalise on by taking the retest of this 200 here. I mean, you can see, look, when price is playing above it, it does respect it, and so it does the same to the downside. So let's keep monitoring that through the session and see exactly what's going to play out. And move over to pounds yen. So what we brought in on earlier was this sort of lows rejections several times, and then finally we got to move to the upside. So if I break down the 5 minute, you can have a look what sort of happened at these lower levels before looking at the higher time frames. This is the only thing that I think, we've got to break this 131. But like I say, if we do get this 5 minute 20, I will go back long. But yeah, this is those lows. Lots of rejections, 130.5. Didn't hold below it, and therefore, it just looked like it needed to move up. It's done such a big move down, and I just feel that was based on false news. It didn't quite coincide with, with the strategies, as it were. Sort of jumped on board with a bit more of a fundamental view, but it's played out with banked some pips. I didn't want to give it back, and therefore, we've just got to keep an eye. Just waiting to see what does happen with this. But the 1 hour's looking good. The 4 hours looking good. So we've just got the new 4 hour candle opened up. So are we going to reach the 4 hour 20? This is what I was I was looking towards these lows, but it does like the sort of round numbers. So as you can see here, this spike was down to the 130.8. These ones that have held a sort of 131.2 odd. 132 dead, gets rejections. Broke back down below there. So 131 is going to be a little hurdle, but could potentially be overcome. The 1 hour 20 is just above that, so we've got 131.2, let's say, where that is. So where it tests that and breaks down. But yeah, it's looking good for a bit of a recovery. Obviously, the whole trend is to the downside, which is clear on the daily as well. So we wouldn't be looking to push it massively, but like I say, tomorrow Johnson's coming back, and there's going to be news, and one way or another, it's gonna get a reaction. This day, depending how this day goes, how we close up, it's going to depend on a few things. So let's see how it does close. But if we suddenly got a big move back up above these EMAs, then it should be continuing to the upside. So yeah, we like that. We like the look of that. So yeah, spot dead off of 130.44. Previous resistance could be turning now support. Let's have a look on the fibs as to where that actually was tied up. So yeah, not particularly at a level. I mean that 131.234 was held before. So maybe if we get a hold above today, it will be a case of us moving to the upside. And let's keep an eye. It's looking good. It's looking good. I've banked some profit, so I'm gonna just look for that re-entry, and we'll go from there. What's gold ticking around doing? Still hasn't broken below, so like to see a nice little 5 minute reversal, but what is it going to do? Really do like the idea of going long here, but something just tells me, I don't know, so the spidey senses are going off. The spidey senses are going off. I'm not seeing. There's anything you guys have been looking at yourselves before I go through a sort of anything else that might be on the watch list? or anything you want to go over regarding those two that we just looked at. Short and dollar CAD. Okay. Now let's have a look at dollar CAD. Yeah, I mean, definitely putting in some tops. The 1 hour is going to look pretty flat. So yeah, could be sign of a pullback, but just first thing I see here is a bull flag. Move up, flag, flag, continuation. I mean, breaks these highs, it's going to do the same distance as here, which is 200 odd pips. So we could be looking at a move up to nearly 500, which say around here. So yeah, this could be a big one. Could be a big one. But yeah, I mean, to short, we do want to see some kind of a reversal candle. So look on this 4 hour. 4 hours looking bullish. In 8 hour sessions, I mean, I just think this could be continuing to the upside. Had rejection. Yeah. So you're thinking of playing short off these highs rather than where it is now? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth a trade. But I'm just looking at this from coming up to this level. There hasn't been the momentum that it's had prior, but yeah, I mean, it'd be a pretty risk. I mean, you could go off that level 1.33500, hit it short there, 20 pips. If it takes you out, it's going the other way. You know, 20 pip loss compared to what could be a very good gain. It's definitely worth it. Could definitely pull back. Good risk reward. Definitely worth trying. Yeah, 133,500 would be my number. Bang on the dead number. Yeah, good spot. Good spot. It's close to it. Anything else any of you guys are seeing? Or we'll run through the higher time frames, lower time frames on everything. See if there's anything else from the spot. Yeah. So when you take your spread into account, what I do is I said about that 0.500 level. Now, if my spread is 2 pips, I will look to do the short when the sell is at that level rather than the mid price be at that level, if that makes sense. So sometimes what happens is it doesn't quite reach it and it starts reversing, and then I do get in a bit lower. But yeah, I mean, if you take into account your spread, you know, e.g. do 22 pips or 24 pips, then you know you'll be covered. But I generally try and get my short, if I'm going to short this at that 500 level dead, I will want my sell price to be at 133,500 dead, and then I'll do 20 pips above that. You can, you know, if it starts running away before it hits that number exactly, then you jump in, then yeah, you know, take into account. Just so you don't get caught out with a smaller. Let's have a look at Aussies. I haven't had a look at them today. I'll say I've been unusually and painfully busy with the other businesses. We launched our ISA and our ISA platform, and we've got loads of products going in there, and just so many other things going on that required a lot more attention, and it's taken me away from doing what I want to do, being the trading. So I'm just glad to have had a couple of good trades today. I must admit, the last week I've just had a few good trades, had a few losses, and more break-evens than I'd like to have. So it's been a real mixed bag. So I'd like to see this week through strong. And are you looking at this as a long or a short? Aussie CAD. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think this is going to be a short. Yeah, perfect. I mean, you take a look at that trend, as you rightly say. Definitely looking bearish. Rejected the 50, broke the 20, retested the 20, and my opinion, just going to be carrying on back down to these lows. There's a good 170 pip move there down to the lows. Let's have a look at the 4 hour. Yeah, I mean, you know, rejecting the 200. I think we get a nice break and retest the 4 hour 50. That would be a really nice complete breakout. The 1 hour still hovering above these levels, but the 4 hour 50 will tie in with that. It could be the good place to go short. Yeah, 8 hours showing a bit mixed, but it's rejected there, which is about 50% of that move. So 8 hours are useful for just seeing how the sessions played out, because each one is 8 hours. So look on the weekly and the monthly. Yeah, weekly's looking bearish. Just last week was a majorly bullish candle, so I was sort of surprised to see this price action, to be honest. But yeah, monthly looking bullish overall. Come back from the lows up to here, but yeah, I mean, it's not the close of the month. You know, last month was smashed back down, so could very well be this being a pullback, and then it's going to fill up this wick and continue to the downside. Let's have a look at the quarterly. Quarterly is looking like it might be making a reversal, but again, you know, it's the start of the quarter, so this could just be a pullback before coming further down. So depending how these end, it could be very good towards the end of the year. And I must admit, towards the end of the year, like with gold, Aussie does seem to sometimes get a little bit of strength. So it's something to watch out for. Gold is now at 98 dead. Back to it. A little bit of a reversal candle. Yeah, I don't dislike it. Aussie yen all day, it's back to where it started. So let's have a look at what's happened on the daily. Yeah, pretty flat day, but overall should be looking bearish. I think it's just where this oil, chip and talent. Yeah, I mean, Just quickly breaking down, just doing it very slowly. Really not much action at all. This looks good to test and carry on back to the downside. Nice initial breakout, but the 4-hour 50 just isn't very far away. It's above, so yeah, not really liking the price action there. We want a bit of momentum, we want a bit of continuation to jump on the back of. Pound yen now above that 131 mark. Looking good. Not got that break back down to the 5-minute 20 yet, but hey ho. We'll see. I think we'll probably get a rejection from the 200, then it'll start breaking down to the 20, and then next push will go back above, and then yeah, get the above to the 200. That's where that 1 hour 20 is, and then see where it takes us from there. Let's have a look at ZNZD. Yeah, again, there's a lot of pairs looking like this at the moment. It's had a big run, broken back below some key levels, and then sort of hovering. A bit indecisive. Out there. Have a look at Euro Yen. Euro Yen looks like it's just rejected, but same as like Pound Yen. Not as much has happened today as in that, but you know, it's just going to continue to the downside. You know, overall on Pound Yen, it does look bearish. So that's why I'm uber conscious of that 1 hour 20. But seeing how Aussie's sort of making waves. Let's have a look at Euro dollar. I just never trade it. I've probably mentioned before. I just don't know why. Just never seems to go my way for some reason. So I just stay away from it. Yeah. So clear rejection. So you know, tomorrow I would expect to see more downside potentially to the lows or to make a new lower low. But it's been doing so since July. Well, if we look further back, it's really been in a downtrend since last year. But yeah, just not one I bother following, in honesty. But yeah, looking good for continuation to the downside. Something that I went through with last night's session as well, that to sort of be wary of, especially when it comes to these rejections. More often than not, you always get a double tap. So, e.g. here, you know, there's been multiple taps, giving you multiple chances to get in. Again, here of the 50, like here, 1, 2, 3, you know, a few there. Even though you know, sort of the 50, it's broken through, but it does tend to give you multiple opportunities. But what I don't like about Euro dollar is this: swings one way, then the other way, then one way, then the other way. The way I like to trade off of these levels, it just you know, stops me out and carries on going. Surprisingly, this last couple of days, it's played to favour, but yeah, that's not in the norm. And you're back below on 31 Pound Yen. So yeah, reversal candle. See if we get back down to the 20. ZD. So we're doing the same thing, hovering around this 200, but I suspect it could break it and continue. Pound, dollar. The slowest one out of the recovering pound pairs. Clean rejection and continuation, but it hasn't really moved. So it continues. You're still in the trade, Alessandro? Yeah, it's looking good. I mean, I'd only close if it, especially if you got in at 0.8. I mean, even if you move to break even, you know, I'd only look to exit on the break of that 5-minute 50. If you're happy managing it that way. I should have left it in, but after I saw this, you know, the big one, I was sure I was going to get a chance to get back in on the 20. Typical. The amount of times recently, I'm just, oh, perfect. In the morning, yeah. You took the morning trade. Perfect, perfect. Yeah, I mean, great job. You know, but like I say, it happens most days with a pair. It's not going to be the same every day with the same, you know, pair, etc. But if you look across, you know, pairs and currencies and commodities you like to trade, look, wait for that momentum move, and then play the pullback. It's generally how I like to start the day, but admittedly today I missed out. I had a nice long gold, you know, cashed in on that. That was great. But yeah, because of that, I just completely missed it. I should have seen it and should have traded, but just been so busy. I knew I wasn't going to be able to look at trades and charts and stuff, so decided not to. But yeah, would have been a beautiful trade all the way down to here. Absolutely beautiful. So have a look at the indices. Bad day, but jetted up to 200. It's been so sideways that just can't get my head into the indices at the moment. I'll be curious to see how cold it is in the morning, because if we do close above that 20, we start having a bullish Asian session in the morning. When we get the you know, the 8 AM UK boarding pullback, be a good long. Yeah, that's right, Kevin. Yeah, we looked for it as well the other yesterday evening. So yeah, again, like I say, it just in the mornings it's just a nice trade. Just more often than not, it plays out as long as there's momentum. Just has to be momentum. As long as there's a momentous move in a direction, you know, you trade it, and you know you can do 40 pips to 40 pips. You know, 40 pips stop, 40 pip target. Generally, that would get hit, but you know, sometimes it comes back around. I just like to lock in 20 pips. And like I say, normally starts your day off with a nice 20 pips and a bit of money in the bank, and then take the rest of the day to, you know, look at other trades if they crop up. seeing what this is doing on these low time frames. As I say, it'd be interesting to see what this does in the morning. Really will. See, so at the moment we're either going to go short. It's either going to break down lower than the 98, or this is going to be the start of the bigger bounce to the upside, which is what I am favouring, in honesty. Like I say, with the pound gaining strength against the yen, it means that the yen's getting weaker, then gold's going to get weaker. But it's back at 131, the pound yen. Come on, give us another 5-minute retest. See if we get it. See if we get it. It focuses on this one now. 1500. Tested. Yeah, sure. Let's have a look. 5 minutes. So yeah. So come 7-8 o'clock. Move to the upside. Pull back. Didn't actually retest though. And then continued. There's no sign of a 5-minute test going on there. If it wasn't already in, it would have been the retest here of the 200, because I didn't get the touch here on the 5-minute. So much as yes, we've had that, we've had the pullback continuation, I would have gone long here on the 5-minute 200. At least then you've got confirmation. You've seen one rejection here, second rejection, long to continue. You know, and I probably would have, you know, played that up to the 1500, because that's been the key level. It's without any doubt going to get come into the question. So much as, you know, if I was watching it and I'm able to sit at the desk and watch, like I mentioned before, hold till it breaks to 50, which could have been coming out 15.04, 100 pips move. Yeah, it's just a matter of if. Yeah, but that wasn't a momentum move. There wasn't momentum there. That wasn't a clear downside move. So that's what I say. You want to look for the big move, like this candle. You know, big momentum move. That's what you want to jump on the back of. And you know, it's generally best to wait for 8 o'clock. Yeah. So, but that retest at 8. Where's 8? 8 o'clock was the big move up. So coming up to 8 o'clock was the sort of retest. But then 8 o'clock, that's when the session come in, got the momentum up, then the pullback. That's the move you're looking for. Which generally between 8 and half 8 is normally the time that pullback occurs. Yeah. I mean, if you see a lot of momentum before that, then you know no harm in taking it. I mean, if we look at another day, let's just use gold as an example. Like here, what's that? 8 o'clock. Yeah. So before again it was choppy, but come 8 o'clock, we had big move, and then yeah, pull back, retest. This move we took that, and that was trade number 1 of the day yesterday. So yeah, but no, it's like I say, it's just waiting for that momentum, and it comes between 7 and 9 o'clock. Just to give you a little clue to to where the next trading session, being the UK, is going to go. But yeah, as long as as well, don't just look at the 5 minute. It only works, like I say, when there's momentum and the daily and everything is lining up, which is what's nice about letting the Asian session do its thing. Then you sort of get an inclination at that point where it's going to be going and continuing. You tend to get most of the pullbacks in the US session, which is sort of what we've seen here. I mean, from 130. So yeah, there was a bit more movement to the upside, but then it's had the pullback. Let's have a look. Which is, yeah, this sort of 50% move on the fibs, which is obviously the same as on the daily. So yeah, so SL, yeah, I tend to do 20 pips below. So if I got in there, then the SL would have been 20 pips below, and then look for initial 20 pips. Most of the time I do 40 and 40, in honesty, on these ones. So I'll look for 40 pip stop, 40 pip take profit. What you find, especially like here, how this was, if I see it start reversing from there, I'll just move my stop to 20 pips to lock in 20 pips. Because like what happened on pound yen, and the reason I came out earlier, is you get this momentum move, and then a pullback, and a retest it, and then you get a chance to go back in and lock in your profit. But like here earlier on, if you went long here, for example, it's just sort of floated about and blah blah blah. You've got to have a bit of a stop. But again, even let's just say you went wrong here or whatever, you see a reversal coming, you just end up giving back the profit a lot of the time. So it's a bit of a tough one, and it's down to personal preference. And I just don't like giving it back. I know I try to tell myself, and I've been trying to be really good with just letting a trade run. But just because the last few sort of days stuff, I've had a couple of losses in there and had a couple of break evens because I've been trying to let it run, move my stop to break even, and then all of a sudden it's coming back out and hitting me out and then carrying on. So I just wanted to bank some profit from this trade for that reason, because I didn't want, I'd moved my stop to break even, and I didn't want it to come down, stop me out, and just carry on going. Because this could have come back down lower, back down to sort of these levels, and then continued. So, this is what I was saying. I just thought I'm going to bank the 26 pips that I had, and then wait for the pullback. But yeah, didn't quite get there, and then went back up a bit. But a bit of a slowdown now. I'm sure we'll get a retest now. And then we'll see if it can break that 200. But yeah, the 1 hour's, 1 hour's looking good. Like I say, you got to remember this can just be a pullback, and then it's going to break down. So this is what I say, you've got to keep an eye on them lower time frames. You've got to manage your positions. If you don't, you can either end up giving it all back or just get caught out on the wrong side. And this is why what I've found over time is, yes, sometimes there's bigger trades to be had, and you could take 100 pips out every day if you're really lucky. But over a month, I've found that when I'm looking for those bigger ones, I've ended up giving more back, and therefore what it's equated to is always less than if I just did solid 20 to 40 pips every single day and then didn't do any more trades. But yeah, unfortunately, I haven't had the time to just do that at present. And so when I've been jumping in the markets, it's been for different trades, and it's not been how I would like to trade, not as structured. So, but yeah, it's down to preference. I mean, in an ideal world, what I've been trying to do and achieve at present is to, in the morning, get on the right side of the market, get this trade in, and let it get 20 pips, move it to break even, and try and let it run. But as I say, I'd only be able to doing that if I'm able to watch, because if I see it reversing, I don't want to give it all back. You know, it could have been 40, 50, 60 pips up, and then it reverse and take me out for break even when I could have banked that profit. So I do like to look for reversals. You know, and a safe management technique is sell out on the break of the 20. If you want to, you know, let it run and carry on playing it, the break of the 50. But you know, on this day, for example, you know, you could have let that run for over 100 pips, and maybe we're going to see it run for another 100 pips tomorrow in a direction. But like I say, it gets a predetermined lot time in Asian session, and then just run with what it's showing you in the morning. And it hasn't dropped down and given it to us again. I am disliking this hovering and being unable to break the 131 region though. You don't want to see it break back down and give a load of profit back. 4 hours looking good. Let's see. See if it does continue. Keeping an eye in any case. Gold just not as expected. Could have taken 20 pips out from that 98, but yeah, it's a little bit less clean on the lower because of the 200 and the 20. See if we get hold above. Quickly whiz through the daily on some of these other pairs. See, dollar index projection at 20 is still in an uptrend. Saying FTSE objective T level 7,200. So yeah, it didn't quite reach the 20, but this could just be looking to fall further. Again, it's going to be dependent on these talks continuing tomorrow. Continuation to the downside. Aussies. Go on, have a look through here, guys. Do you have a favourite trading pair, commodity, etc.? And why, if you do? Just curious. Just curious. Not seeing much on any of these others. You're a CAD back below that sort of monthly level, Alessandro, that we've highlighted in the past. This could be the retest before the bigger drop. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I guess I'm sort of installing gold into people a lot, aren't I? So apologies if that's not such a good thing. I find myself I'm most in tune with gold, and I tend to have most success in my trading with gold. And I probably could just trade gold all month long. And I'd probably have a higher win rate if I just did gold, in honesty. But yeah, pound yen I like the yen crosses. I like the yen crosses, gold, the indices, mainly because of the volatility. You know, I trade with momentum, and therefore those are the most, you know, what gets the most movements. Yeah. What do you think of this, Alessandro? Break back below the trend line and retest. I think that could be looking good for a short. I think we get a break below this 20, retest, and could be a big move. I mean, typically with these patterns, if they're true patterns and they play out, you'll tend to see them back to the bottom of where they started, which means this could be a very nice long-term trade heading, way back down here. Yeah, it does. It does. So it's definitely not confirmed to the downside, and this could just be a false move, and then it's going to break back in and continue to the upside. So this is where you do have to, you got to wait for confirmation. Yeah, absolutely right. It does keep rejecting the daily 20. So yeah, interesting. Let's see how that plays out tomorrow. Here again. Reversal, probably continuation. Interesting on the pound Aussie because we've got the 1.81 dead's been hit, the 200s. Oh, pound yen has broke down a bit for us, but it's broken through that 5-minute 20. So yeah, look, sinking. Didn't want to hold above 131. Didn't want to hold above 131. So I expect now the 50 is going to get hit. And let's watch this live because this is a good one for us for experience. So this gets hit and rejects. I'm not going to say get back in there because what we want to see is confirmation, is a move back up above the 20, retest and continue. Okay, that's how you play these ones if it's a bit of a false move. So you don't need to jump in on the 50 because it could go from the 50 to the 20 and back down. So let's watch this just while we're live. I know it's 7 now, but let's stay on and do this. Let's just you guys. This may retest that 20 now and then pull down if it retests it. But this is what I'm talking about, taking profits. So this is a lower level than where I took profit earlier. Again, this is the frustration with trading. That's why you got to be happy. As long as I've taken 20 pips out of the trade, I consider myself happy and lucky. Let's see that 50 get tested. Are you guys following this as well? Great stuff. It's great. It's not very often we get a live opportunity like this, but this is good. I'm glad we have. I expect gold has actually shot up a little bit because this has dropped. Yes, it has. Yes, it has indeed. And 30 pips up. Going on the 98. So what happens sometimes when you don't follow the gut. We'll see what happens here and we'll flick back over to gold. Like I say, for the sake of 10 pips, trying to buy right now, is it worth it? And we may see this go straight through. So this is why you need to watch. You need to sit on hands for situations like this. You'll see how this closes. So yeah, looking to reject. Looking to reject. So we do get the break back above the 20, then great. When it pulls back down, will give us another long entry. So you have to wait for it to break and then retest successfully. Because right now it could just turn back around from that level. Okay, so we've broken above. I don't use the pivots. What level are the pivots on? What's the price that the pivots have got there? On 30.802. Okay, so yeah, so the pivot, so you're saying the pivot and the 50 line up. Okay, interesting. Yeah. So it didn't break above in that candle. Let's see if it does in this one. Let's see. It's a nice reversal candle, so I would expect to see this move back up. There we go. There's the pop to the upside. So let's see if it will give us a pullback and an entry on the next candle. Oh, this might just be. It might just blast straight past. You know, you can go look to trade straight off the EMAs, but it's just riskier in my opinion. I prefer waiting for confirmation. Because once you have the breaks, like you can see previous, you know, you have an actual break, then a retest, then you go, you know, we've had a break, now we're coming back above, and hopefully get a retest on the next candle. And if we do that, get a retest there, you can have your stop below this one. So only 10 pips stop really needed. Let it run, move it to break even, let it run some more and lock in some profit. Hold up. Yeah, we get a retest of the 20 on the next candle, then I'll go long. Yeah, and I'll put a stop below this here. See what it gives us in the next candle. Is it just reversing? Very strange. A strange candle, that one. We normally see. Now it's ticking down, so I'm going to go with the retest purchase anyway. I think we're going to get it. Come on. Nearly there. Come on. Don't turn around before giving us a retest, for goodness sake. Come on, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do that to me. Alright. Come on. Give me the actual test. I hate this when it does this. So close to it. Come on. misbehave. Come on. Alright. There we go, boom. Okay, there's the test. Now we should hope for it to retrace. So I'm going to keep stops tight. I'm going to put them here dead, so it's just literally over 10 pips, just in case it does just break back down. I'll retest that 50 again. Hopefully we get the move up now. Yes, live on the 20, which was 130.909 to be precise, and in a tiny bit of profit. So hopefully it just continues ticking on up. We can sometimes see that the next candle does another test and goes from there, but I'm happy with having that and a tight stop. So what do you mean closed? No, I've just re-entered long. I was waiting for the retest to take it long again. Which, as we're seeing now, we're getting a nice pullback. Oh, when am I closing it? Let's see what price action does. It struggled to break above 131, so I'm going to be conscious of that. But I would like to see the 131.1 come into play. The 1 hour, we've got the 131.16 that's at. So, do you know what? I'll probably take the 20 pips. And we see that. Just in case it rejects. And see how it goes. But my first thing I'm going to do is, once we're sort of moving ahead, I'll move it to break even. Just so that then, I'm not going to risk giving anything away. And then let it manage from there. I may decide to leave it running with the break even, because I did bank some profit on it before, so I may try and be a bit sterner with it. But let's see how it plays out in the next sort of hour or so. Well, I'm glad at least you've got to see in live how price action tends to react. That was it's a good lesson. I'm glad you was able to catch it, and able to see how I react and what we do in those situations. So let's let that run. I'm gonna call it a night there. Let's keep managing. But yeah, I think 131 is where I'll look to manage at that point. So let's keep an eye, guys, and yeah, let me know if there's anything else you see. But before I log off, any other questions, queries, or anything on what we've had a look at and gone over? No, very welcome. Glad, like I say, it's not very often we get to catch things live, so I am pleased that we did. I think that's probably the third session ever that we've actually had a live trade, so all good in that respect. Have good evenings, and yeah, don't give the profits back, guys. Make sure you keep it banked, and let's see how the morning pans out for tomorrow's trades. Otherwise, trade safe, and I will catch you all soon. All the best. Thanks, guys. You too, gents. Good evening.